It is a former UFC champ, Germaine de Randamie, the Iron Lady, or I'm wondering, is it the Iron Mommy now? Do we got to like change the nickname now that we're into motherhood?
I, I might have to change it a little bit. It might have to change it a little bit, yeah.
I mean, moms are a little bit softer, right? They can't all be iron all the time.
No, when I'm with him, I'm soft. But when I'm in the gym, I become iron.
I love it. Well, listen, let's talk about, I mean, it's cliche, right? But life changes so much, right? When you have a child and just the way you look at things, I think, and your motivations and all that. I mean, I don't know, what's the biggest impact for you since the birth of your son?
I'm complete. I'm absolutely complete. I'm so blessed. So since I was a little girl, I always had one dream, and that's becoming a mommy. Not becoming a world champion or anything, but become a mom. And that's the best title I could ever worn in my life. But yeah, I have to say, for me, I'm the happiest I've ever been. So that makes me more dangerous. I'm fight now when I go and step back in the cage. I fight with a different motivation because I want to make him proud. Because one day when he's growing up and when he's old enough, I can tell him all the stories and I can tell him nothing in life comes easy. You got to work your ass off to get it. And I will
That's
show him that it's possible.
That is awesome. That's a hell of an example. Well, I mean, you jumped into it, so let's just say it. I mean, I see the clips. You're in the gym. It's been almost 3 years since you competed, but listen, you always said, "I'm not retired. I'm just away for a little bit." So, what made it now though to say, "Okay, we're ready. I'm getting that itch. It's time to jump back in."
Well, there's been a few obstacles, of course, for my delay to come back. So first I broke my thumb and I torn all the ligaments. So I got some iron in my thumb now. So that took a little bit of time of recovery. Then it was, of course, Corona, and I'm not vaccinated, so I was not allowed to travel. And I had a baby wish, so it all played out. Me becoming a mommy, and like I said, I've never had the intention to retire, but it was also good to step away for a little bit and focus on other things in life. I've been fighting for 24 years now, 24 and a half years. So it's been a very long journey, but I still enjoy every bit of it. So my body got to recover. My head, after 24 years of taking shots to the head almost every day, I mean, it takes its toll. So you have to take care of your body. So I was able to do that and still get better because a lot of people might think, oh, she stepped away for 3 years, but I've been learning, I've been observing. I never watch a lot of MMA, but in these past 3 years, I've been updated. I've seen what's going on. I'm I'm quiet, but I'm still there, and I've become better.
That's awesome. So it's great to hear that you've been watching because I want to ask you about that. But here was my thing. I thought when you walked away, you said, "Look, I'm not retiring." But then when I said, "Look," as you said, you've been in there for 24 years. You're having a baby. I just wondered if there was some part of you that would be like, this isn't so bad. Just kind of hanging up.
Maybe that day will come soon or not. But at the same time, honestly, I'm the only one that beat the number one and number two contenders right now, still in the UFC. My last fight was against the number one. I'm only not number one anymore because I stepped away for a long time. And honestly, I believe I can beat them both. And I say that with the most respect for both of them. But I believe I can beat Juliana Pena and Raquel Pennington.
That's amazing. I mean, listen, that's what's crazy is after stepping away, the history that you have, you're right there. So it's great to hear that you were following along. You know the rankings. You know exactly where you should jump in. So are those the fights that you're talking? I mean, can you jump back in right away and be at that top level right now? Or do you feel like a warm-up fight, so to speak?
What is a warm up fight in the UFC?
Yeah.
There are no warm up fights in the UFC. And especially, when especially when you're me, everybody wants to beat the former champion and the former number one contender. Everyone wants to beat me. If you fight me, you want to beat me. Of course, there are, if you look at it, fights that excite me. Yeah, hell yeah. But, still at the end of the day, it's the UFC that decides.
Right. Was there any part of you that was sad to see Amanda Nunes walk away? Obviously, that was one that you never quite got. Was there any part of you that was hoping you get to come back and get one more crack?
Hell yeah. I believe she is the best. But I also believe that I was in there with her. I believe that we can make a nice fight. Yes, of course. She's my only loss in the UFC. So yeah, of course. But at the same time, I completely understand her position, letting her body heal, enjoying her family. She doesn't need to fight anymore. We're the ones that's still hunting to become the champion. Not her anymore. She proved herself in any way or form. But yeah, it's sad. I mean, if that day might come that they might give me a title fight and become the champion again, and she would come back and she would want to face me, I would definitely be open to that.
You never know what's gonna happen. It was cool. I will say though, I believe you must have mutual admiration as a competitor and as a mother now. The way she retired, I think, was one of the most beautiful retirements I've ever seen.
Listen, the coolest thing was I was doing the analyzing of the fight, and they asked me previous to the fight. They asked me, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Amanda, all the way," but I think she's gonna retire. And everybody said to me, "How can you say that? It's not going to happen." I said, "Because she said a keyword in her interview. She said, 'I'm complete now.'" Those are some things me as a mother, I understand different than any other, that every mother would understand if you listen to the lines in between. And I did that. So when she announced her retirement, I'm like, I told you guys. And I was so happy for her, seriously happy for her.
Absolutely. She's one of the all-time greats, the greatest of all time as a
Absolutely.
female. All right, so listen, you're ready to come back. I mean, I hear you're eyeing before this year is up. I mean, does that mean you're already in like a training camp right now, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I started training 5 weeks after I gave birth to my son. So I trained up to 4 days before I delivered my son. Uh, so yeah,
That's
I'm,
amazing.
I'm I'm preparing myself, cutting the weight slowly down. So I hope November, maybe the UFC has a fight for me. November, December. Let's make it happen. I want to fight this year.
I,
Absolutely.
I love it. Are you open to any fight, or is it kind of like those top two that you mentioned, or bust? I mean, is it like that or nothing, or is it hey, you'll just take whatever they give you?
I know it's never going to happen, but if they ask me, hell yeah, I will do it. I know it's not going to happen. So, you know, of course, I'm not in a position to ask for any fight, but if the UFC really wants a banger, and I say this with the utmost respect because I'm a true fan of her, I think me and Bunny will make one hell of a fight because she's a warrior. I'm absolutely a huge fan of her, and I know she comes to bang. With her, it's like bite down on your mouthpiece. Who has the longest breath and the cleanest shot? That's it. I
Well,
love her seriously.
I love that. And listen, I know what you're saying, and you're respectful by saying, hey, I can't come in and demand anything. And you're right. It's been 3 years, but you have the caveat of there's history between you two. It might be a fight that they want. It's not necessarily you just saying you want it. They might want that fight too.
Hey, I'm ready. I'll make the weight next week if they want it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Hell yeah, I'll give it.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, last thing I got for you. We know the comeback is coming. We know it's going to happen. What do you see for yourself in this? It's kind of a new phase. Like you said, you've had a lengthy layoff. So is this like, hey, let's make one run to the title, and if it stops, it's over? Or do you feel like there's years left? There's a couple fights left? What do you see for yourself in this stage of your career?
Well, throughout my career, I didn't took a lot of damage, so I'm happy about that. I've been in some wars, but I didn't took a lot of damage. So I still feel good, but honestly, you got to take it at a time. I don't know what the UFC wants. Maybe they be like, fight out of your contract and goodbye and see whatever you want to do. But if I'm in the UFC, I want that title shot because I want to be that champ again. And I promise my countrymen, my fellow countrymen, I will do anything within my power to get that belt. So, of course I'm going to try. If you don't want to be a champion, don't fight. You don't, honestly, you don't do this I don't do this to become rich. I do this because I love it. I don't have to do it. I'm happy. I'm absolutely happy. And I fight because I really want to fight. But if you want to fight in the UFC, you have to fight because you want to become the champion.
I love it. Well, you've always been one of the most driven competitors in the game. So I appreciate the time. I'm excited to have you back. It had been several years since we talked, but I guess it's not going to be that long this time. Might just be a couple
Hello.
months, and it'll be
We will
pre-fight.
see each other very soon. And thank you for having me.